Okay, welcome to InsideDigital.org. For those of you who aren't as familiar with the platform, we've recently launched online. We're a new source of intelligence for brand marketeers. You can visit us at www.insidedigital.org. And I am delighted to have with me today Gary Fearnell, who's the Director of Marketing Solutions for LinkedIn Canada. Gary has joined us as one of our resident experts for our event series. And I'm going to ask Gary a few interesting questions to help you guys on your way. So, Gary, first of all, please tell our audience a little bit about yourself and your role at LinkedIn.
Sure. Thanks for having me. It's been great to be here tonight. I think this is a great initiative to sort of increase people's understanding of what's going on in the digital space. It's a fast-changing environment, as we all know, so helping getting like-minded individuals together to collaborate and share their insights is very valuable. So I've been at LinkedIn now for 2.5 years. I have had the opportunity to be part of a real startup kind of operation within what is effectively a large startup at LinkedIn. So building a team and helping marketers really understand how to leverage the social dynamic that is occurring on LinkedIn, the ability to connect with members and tell a brand story over time, not just really focus on an individual impression in the moment, but really think about what that conversation can be like over a long period of time and deepen that relationship and deepen the kinds of discussions that can be had with those consumers. So I spend most of my time in agencies and with CMOs and marketing teams talking about social, talking about digital and how we fit into the overall marketing strategy.
What type of advice do you impart to marketers? What is it you tell them that LinkedIn can provide them?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think what we're trying to impart is insights into the kinds of behaviors that we see on LinkedIn. So marketers are always looking for insights, data-driven insights into why people do what they do. Why are they spending time on LinkedIn? What's the purpose for being there? And LinkedIn's done some great research into the mindset of members and why they choose to invest the time they have chosen to on social platforms versus professional platforms, or personal versus professional. And we know that on LinkedIn that people are there to really get value back. They have a high expectation of being better at what they do, and they expect LinkedIn to give them tools and information that accomplishes that. So, we're sharing that insight into what the personal behavior of LinkedIn members is like, but we're also talking about the tools on LinkedIn, the company page platform, groups, social tools like that, different ad units, content ad units, and now most recently the sponsored updates, which is content marketing in the stream, and how they can leverage that, how they should think about content marketing, how to create engaging information that really resonates with their target audience.
I'm just going to put my consumer hat on for a moment, because certainly one of the topics that came up today of the conversation pieces was privacy. I mean, you're sharing all this data with these marketers. Of course, they want to tap into what consumers are doing on LinkedIn or what professionals are doing on LinkedIn. How do you protect the interests of the LinkedIn members?
Yeah, well, LinkedIn, it's obviously of high concern to LinkedIn, which is a member-first platform. It's one of our core values to our members. So everything we do is under the understanding that we're not outside of PIPEDA rules. We take privacy extremely important at LinkedIn. So nothing that we release is not released without consumer permission. And we don't really, when you think about LinkedIn as a marketing platform, we're quite conservative about protecting our members' interests.
Yep.
It's not a very noisy platform, which makes it very powerful as a marketing tool, but you don't see as much going on LinkedIn. That can be good or bad, as you might see on a Facebook or a Twitter, which are 100% ad-driven. That's all their revenues come from advertising. LinkedIn is a more diversified revenue story. We get money from recruiters for licensed products. We get money from sales teams as well as from advertising, and subscriptions. So all of that really makes us, first of all, as I said, the philosophy is member first.
Yep.
Don't do anything that violates that trust that we have with members, because the whole business is really built on what members do on LinkedIn and the fact that they are giving us their time. And then secondly, we are conservative around the notion of how are we going to create value for marketers.
Yeah, absolutely. And LinkedIn, I mean, it's evolved tremendously over the last few years, quite dramatically. Can you give us a sneak peek into some of the upcoming changes or strategic decisions that we're going to be seeing from LinkedIn? Can you give anything away?
I don't know if I can tell you anything. I'm not sure I can tell you anything that you probably haven't figured out. But yeah, I think you're right. In the last 6 months to 12 months, I think we've seen a sea change in what's going on the platform. So it's turned from a platform that was driven mostly by the desire for people to make new connections into a real content dynamic where the reason for going on LinkedIn is to check in on what's going on in your network and companies and brands you're following, what's going on from publishers and in industry groups and segments that you're involved with. So all of that is creating this enormous repository of professional publishing content. And so there's really no better aggregation of that anywhere on the web right now. So that's what's changed in the nature of the dynamic for marketers, is how to participate in that, how to dive in and give value to our members. So I think, if I imagine what's going on down the road, it's going to be continued investment and strategic focus on the stream. Yep. It's going to be how to think about mobile. Right now, LinkedIn is about 30% of the traffic comes from mobile devices, so we're a little less mobile-centric than a Facebook or a Twitter is, but it's rising. So we have to think intelligently about what that mobile experience is, both tablets and mobile devices of various kinds. That's where the focus is going to be for LinkedIn as a platform, and what can you do with LinkedIn when you're on the go in all kinds of different environments.
And LinkedIn, obviously, I mean, it reflects the general shifts that are happening, content marketing, mobile. So if you take off your LinkedIn hat for a second, what are some of the upcoming trends that you would tell marketers to look out for? I mean, you're a social media expert.
I'm a social media student, like all of us. So yeah, I think
Is anyone an expert? Is
no one's
anyone
an expert. I think everyone's learning. I think it's the same with marketing in general, that we're all learning as we go and testing and trying new philosophies and new tactics to understand what works the best. So for me, clearly mobile as a channel is the place where it's all starting to happen, and we're talking tonight about digital watches, smart watches, and what have you. So I think that is going to accelerate my interest as a professional. Is I want more content coming to my device. I want LinkedIn and other platforms to think intelligently about location as a driver for behavior. I want them to think about how to make sure that they are respecting my privacy. At the same time, they are asking me for the kind of information that I think would be valuable to give up in order to get the most relevant content from platforms like LinkedIn, Twitter, or Facebook. So I see, great, exciting times ahead for marketers, challenging times as we all strive to measure ROI from what we're doing. So we know that lots of time is being spent on social, lots of time is being spent in digital. How do you measure downstream from that engagement and that kind of interaction that you might have up here to an ultimate purchase? So I think what we've seen with LinkedIn is LinkedIn delivers scale of reach against high value users, and some of that behavior might convert instantly, but a lot of it is going to be because of that relationship you've built over time. You might not see an instantaneous conversion. And so how do marketers that are increasingly being measured on, what did you deliver today? What did you deliver this week? How do they help tell their board, their CMOs, and their CEOs exactly how to think about longer term relationship building, brand building, not just focus on instantaneous action. So I think that's a challenge and an opportunity.
Absolutely, and the other hope, as was brought up tonight, is that the CMOs retire and leave it for the young troops, isn't it? So. Well,
I think it was an interesting observation. I'm not sure that age is the ultimate determination. I think mindset is really, there's a lot of marketers that have been in the space for a long time that have really embraced change all the way through. I've been in digital now for a long time, and I've seen senior marketers that have embraced digital right from the beginning. Could have easily stayed in a safe place. There are lots of people like you and I that have jumped into digital when we could have maybe traversed safer waters by staying in a traditional path. So I don't know that age is the only thing, but I agree. There can be company cultures that encourage uniformity or kind of a stale mindset around what we do next, and I think you need to help marketers understand the risk right now, and what we see in social in general is you cannot choose to not participate.
Exactly.
A lot of marketers still believe they can stay out of the fray. They can't. If you are absent from the conversation, people are still talking about you.
Exactly.
They may not be saying what you like, So you have to be in there, and you have to be thinking about how you get involved in that and drive it in the direction you want it to go.
And I think better the devil you know than the devil you don't, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So on those wise words, I would like to thank Gary for coming out to this event series and for participating in the video series. If you'd like to find out more again about Inside Digital, visit www.insidedigital.org. If you'd like to find out more about Gary, then you can just visit LinkedIn.
LinkedIn.com.
LinkedIn.com. Who doesn't visit LinkedIn?
Exactly.
And thank you.
All right, thank you very much.